Hi, I'm Kevin Eikenberry, and I'm here to help you reach your potential as a leader and a human being. Welcome to Remarkable TV and the Remarkable Leadership Podcast. Today I'm asking you a question: progress or perfection? Are you ready? Let's get started. Are you seeking progress or perfection? I'm asking you that question both personally and as a coach, and I'm going to frame this for you as a coach. What are you looking for and what are you focusing on as a coach to your team? But I want you to think about it personally as well, and I'll loop back to that before we're finished. Okay? So let me make a case for each, right? If you're focusing on progress or perfection, let's make a case for each. First, the case for perfection. Well, perfection is a really high bar and it can be very highly unrealistic, really. Are people going to actually be perfect? Only one person on this planet ever did that. So really, when I say the case for perfection is we're focused on what are the desired outcomes and the performance and the behavior. What we're really saying is, are people making it or not to the desired level of performance? And so it's a binary snapshot thing. Yes or no, they either did or they didn't. And at some level, that's why we've hired people to get them to a level of performance. And yet any given snapshot could be a problem, right? Taken to an extreme, taken to truly perfection, this could be a problem. How about the case for progress? Well, let's not talk about things that are legal. So like, we don't want to give this feedback to our team members. Well, you know, you're not as illegal as you used to be. Like, that's kind of silly. Like, there are some things that are binary, but for most of the work that our folks are doing, the reality is, the question is, are they making meaningful progress? Here's the question I'd ask: are people getting closer to the performance standard in a meaningful way? Is the trend right? If someone's not quite meeting it, they're here, are they moving in the right direction? So the case for progress is a video, not a snapshot. It's not a moment in time, but what does the trend line look like? Are we moving in meaningful ways in the direction of what we really want? That's the case for progress. It's worth thinking about. Now, let me make my suggestion to you that it shouldn't be, well, do I want progress or do I want perfection? I'm going to share with you now my case for both. Here's the case for both. Well, we need to have clear and measurable standards, and people need to know what they should be reaching toward. So we absolutely need to be coaching people on that perfection, or at least on that standard that we want, for sure. And if people aren't there, it's not like, well, you're not there, you're out of here. We're coaching people in that direction, right? So if you want to help people continue to move in the direction, if you want to think about how do we coach people for progress, then there's some questions that you might ask, like, what is helping you improve? What are the things that are moving you in the direction? What are you doing that's helping you get better? What else could you do? Knowing where you're at, and you're maybe at the 95th percentile and you want to get to 100, what else do you need to do now to keep you moving in that direction? These are the questions I want you to be asking or consider to ask as a coach. Next, how can I help? What can I do as your coach to provide guidance, support, encouragement, whatever it is? What can I do to help you keep that trend line moving in the right direction to the standard and maybe even beyond it as that person gets more and more effective? And lastly, what resources do you need now? If you had this conversation with someone 6 months ago, what they needed then might be different than what they need now. So we want to continue to ask, not only where are they, what are they doing, how could they keep getting better, what can we do to help, but what do they need now? What resources do they need now? Now, I've framed all of this for you, including my case for doing both, to try to coach for progress as well as perfection. I've talked to you about this from a coaching perspective, but I want you to think about this for yourself as well. Which way would you like to be coached? On only one or on both? I'm guessing on both. And if you're a person that says, well, I have a really high standard for myself and that perfection thing actually gets in my way, yeah, it probably does. So make sure that you have a perspective about, am I moving in the right direction too? Progress and perfection. Let me close with today's tweet. Ask yourself what you want today, progress or perfection. Or can you work for both, high standards and meaningful progress? If you heard this at the beginning, I said, welcome to the Remarkable Leadership podcast, and you may be listening to me there. But if you're watching me on Remarkable TV, we do have a podcast known as the Remarkable Leadership Podcast, and you can join us. The links to do that are right here. Each week we have one of these episodes, but we also have an interview conversation that I have with a leadership expert or an expert leader. We'd love to have you join us on the Remarkable Leadership Podcast. Wherever you're seeing us or hearing us now, we'll be back next week. Remarkable TV and the Remarkable Leadership Podcast.